Video. In today's video I will show you how to use SwiftData with Flutter without using any third-party library. So if you don't know what SwiftData is an equivalent of core data you might have heard about. And what exactly is SwiftData and core data? So they are equal to SQLite, which help us to store large amount of data inside your mobile app itself. So that's what SwiftData is, and the only requirement for this tutorial will be you should be using Xcode 15, and the minimum deployment target for this would be iOS 17. So yeah, let's get started. So as usual, I have created a Flutter application. Before that, I will show you guys one demo. So what I have done is that I have created a text field, and I have 4 buttons for inserting, reading, deleting and updating data. So I will start with some inserting of data. So I will just enter task 1. Okay, I will insert that data. So here you can see at the bottom I am using a list view builder to display the data. Now I will enter some other task 2 I guess. So I will insert it. So task 2 is also appended. Next I will read data. We are already reading the data, but I have just created that button as well in case you are curious. And now I will delete data. So what delete data will do is it will read from your text field what task you want to delete. So I want to delete task 2, so I will delete it. So as you can see, task 2 got deleted. I will insert it again. So task 2 got inserted. Now I will update task 2 with some hard-coded string which I have passed. I will show you what hard-coded string is that. So I will just click on update data, and it will update task 2 with some other data. So here you can see that it got updated with new data. So yeah, that's it for the demo. So let's get started. So as usual, create a Flutter application. Next I have refactored our homepage widget. So first is what I have done is I have just created this var data variable. Next I have created a method channel called SwiftData platform. Next I have created a text editing controller which would be useful for our text field. Next I have defined an event channel because we would be continuously getting data from native side to Flutter side anytime user performs a CRUD operation. And this is the subscription for it, and this is the array where I am storing or a list where I am storing all our data into. So inside init state, as you can see, I am first fetching all the data which is present inside in our SwiftData database. Next I have created a subscription for it, and once we get, so here you will get the data in case there is any type of CRUD operation. So as soon as there is a CRUD operation, I'm clearing our list and adding whatever is present, whatever data we get it from the native side. And inside on error, I'm just printing it to the console. And this is the I have created this using this method channel. I'm invoking a method called read data, so this should be present on the native side, the implementation for it. And while disposing, we are just disposing our controller. And inside, so here is our text field, and I have created a few buttons. So this is the insert button, and as you can see in the implementation, I'm just invoking an insert data, and I'm passing title whatever the user is typing inside the text field. This is for reading data. This is for deleting the data, and I'm passing the title which I want to delete. And this is for updating the data, and I'm passing the title which want to update as well as the updated content which is new data. Now I have just hard coded this over here, but you can add whatever you want to. And this is like a list view builder where I'm just displaying all the data which is present. So yeah, simple, right? Next all you have to do is open your iOS folder inside Xcode. Next go to runner. Make sure you are using Xcode 15. Make sure your iOS deployment target is 17 over here, as well as go to this runner and make sure you extend the iOS deployment target to 70. Next you will have to create a model for this. So as you know, we are just sending a string from Flutter side to native side. So I have just defined a task name over here, but you can add multiple data as well, like date, description. It's up to you. I have just trying to keep this tutorial simple. That's why I have just added one field. And this id is like a primary key which would be auto generated. Next I have just initialized all the fields which we have created, and you need to add this @model as well as import SwiftData over here. Next I have created a service class which would be a singleton class, and that would perform all the CRUD operation for us. So if you see over here, I'm importing foundation as well as I'm importing SwiftData. Then I have created a shared service of our database service. So this will create a singleton for us. Then we have to define a model container as well as a model context, and inside the initialization we first have to define our schema. So if you have multiple models, you can just write it over here like comma separated, like, because this is an array. Next I have defined a model configuration where we have to pass schema, and this is stored in memory should be false because we want to persist the data. Next I have defined a container, and I am doing try model container for schema, and I have passed the model configuration, and for to create the context we have to pass the container inside model context. Next, for saving the data, first I am checking whether I have this particular task name or not. If yes, then I am just creating the object of to do model. I am sending some UUID ID and passing the task name and inserting inside our context. Similarly, for fetch data, we will use fetch descriptor. I will pass the to do model over here. Then I will do try context.fetch of descriptor, and on completion I am calling data comma nil, and if there is an error, then error would be passed. Similarly, for update task, I am finding what task needs to be updated as well as the updated task name. So I am just updating the task name over here. And for deleting, we just have to pass context.delete task to be deleted. So yeah, next all you have to do is go to your app delegate. First I have defined our database service, and this str task is for sending data from native side to flutter side, and this is our method channel result. This is task which I have just to make it easier to find or update or delete a task whenever you send a string from a flutter side to a native side. So that's why I have defined this array as well. Next I have defined an event sync as well as an event channel. So this is the same thing which we have defined it on the flutter side. Next I have initialized our service class. Next I have defined a controller as well, and this is our method channel. Next we are setting our event channel for this. Then here we are just calling all the methods, so insert data, read data, delete data, and all that stuff. So for insert data, we are first fetching the title which you send from flutter side to a native side, and once you get the title, I am just calling the save task method from service, as well as I am calling fetch data as well. For read data, I am just calling fetch data. Next for deleting the data, again we are fetching the title. So here you can see I'm just finding the title at what index it is present inside the task array. So whatever is the first index, I'm getting that index, and then I'm calling delete task. If there are multiple tasks with the same name, then it will just find the first task, and again I'm calling fetch data after that. Similarly, for update data, you will pass the title as well as the updated title, and here I am getting the first index of the task for the title, and once we get that, we are just calling update task and passing the updated title, and I am calling fetch data over here as well. And for fetch data, we are first emptying our list, and once and here we are calling fetch task of our service, and if there is some data, we are just assigning it to our task, and here we are appending it to our string array. And to send it from native to flutter side, we have to use JSON encoder. That's what I'm doing over here, and I'm checking whether event sync is not equal to null, and if it is not, I'm just sending it back to the flutter side. And this two methods you have to override for assigning our event sync, and also make sure you extend flutter stream handler as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.